So, hello everyone, good morning. This is a very beautiful morning and it's really pleasant to stand here and see all of you here. I don't know, I got nervous and excited. Okay, before I deal with my presentation, I would like to ask to all of you guys here, have you ever received news that makes you really disrupting? And then what are you going to do after that? You're going to put it on, stop it on your gadget, or are you going to forward it? Because, in fact, we can see most people receive a lot of news, any kind of news. It's going to be crime, it's going to be, earthquake, murder, terrorist thing, and then they forward it to another, even in a group. Yeah, even they talk about it. They do a discussion about it. They say that the earthquake, for example, I give you an example. Earthquake, for example. People capture it. They didn't help another people who got earthquake in it. They just capture it and they put some message on it and then forward it to another people. And another case, a bus attacked a car in a highway and so many people died, yeah, so many body on the highway with blood everywhere, yeah, and they get a picture of it and they say they want to deliver it to another people. This is what happened right now. Now, right now, I would like to tell you there's a situation in my country. This is one of the activists, the humanitarian activists who deal with the news. So, before I start, this is my preface. You can see here, I would like to talk about the hoax. Yeah, you see? There's going 3 preface on my presentation. The first one, the ease of spreading issue. There's no gatekeeper in here. If you remember, something that wants to be spread, there have to be editor, there have to be gatekeeper, there have to be somebody who decides is it good or bad to spread. But in this case, this is very easy to spread the news. Whatever, you don't have to think about it. Even people don't think about that news is true or wrong. It's only a hoax thing. And then the second one, update could access anytime. Do you remember the echo chamber effect? Yeah, the echo chamber effect that makes you, if you like one news, the preference news is going to become again, comes again, even you didn't want to see it. There's going to be notification on your gadget. And then the third one, the tragic news, this one I would like to tell about. This is the case study. Tragic news about the humanitarian activists. So, the election happened in my country, and the humanitarian activist is one side of the president, calon president, the candidate of president. So there's 2 candidates of president, number 1 and number 2, and the humanitarian activist is on the candidate number 2. And then you know what? There's a news about she's being punched, yeah, black and blue, her face, and then spread all over the country. And everybody thinks it is right, is it true? Because in that situation, maybe our psychological thinking is going to be moved really easy. Because our emotion that we choose number 1 or number 2 candidate of president. This is the humanitarian activist as the one of the supportive one for the candidate number 2. So that, So that I would like to see, this is my research question, I would like to see the first one, conformity, because I'm using 2 theory. The first one I'm using impression management, and the second one I'm using public opinion theory. But actually, if you want to make the future research, you can use the dramaturgy theory from Irving Goffman. Okay, this is my aim of study. The first one, I would like to know the conformity, the excuse, the apologies, self-promotion, flattery, favors, and association. There's going to be my first research question. And my second research question is, find the process of the public opinion constructed. So that we're going to find the impression management that happened, that delivered by the activists, and also how the successful impression management drive the public opinion to the societies. So, this is my research method. I use qualitative method using constructivist paradigm with interpretive technique. Yeah. And then the second one, I collect the data by that interview and observation, because I see some of the activists who, who support that woman, the humanitarian activist. Can I call the name of the activist? Yeah, she's Ratna Sarumpaet. You can browse on your gadget. If you browse Ratna Sarumpaet, there's going to be a lot of news about her. Okay, and then the third one, I use validity of the result by done, triangulation, and discussion. As we know, the validity of the research have to be constructed by the, recheck, member check, what we call triangulation. Okay, we go to the discussion, because I don't want to take a lot of time. I prefer to have a discussion with all of you guys here. This is my discussion. The first one, the conformity was done by the activist by admitting the persecution towards her. The first one, she admit the persecution in the press conference. Yeah, so there's a press conference and there are some other activists, and this is the activist, yeah, the activist who being punched, pretending being punched, and then she confirmed, yeah, I'm being punched. So the one impression management done by her. And then the second one, excuse was done by the activist by saying that wasn't any goal to spreading hoax. After several weeks, there's a bill about, yeah, she's doing, I'm going to surprise you, she didn't get persecution, but she deal with, anyone who can guess, she deal with, oh my god, I don't dare to do it, plastic surgery. It's very shameful, plastic surgery on the face. And she said that I didn't want to spread the hoax. She admitted. And then the third one, apologies was done by the activists by asking apologies in press conference. Yeah, just because everybody already knows that she is doing live, and she make another press conference to say she really sorry about it. And then self-promotion. Yeah, actually in this case, I found a self-promotion that if she tell the truth, it means she is not the liar, even though she is spreading fake news. Okay, number 5, flattery was done by activists by giving flattery statement to her supporter. She said that she really thinks that still there are still people who support her, even though she dealing something weird. I can say it's weird because lying, being punched, but actually she's dealing with plastic surgery. Okay, next, favor done by the activist was giving the best image of herself. Yeah, this is kind of contradictory. And then the last one, association done by the activist is keep the good image of the supporter. She said that my supporter didn't do anything wrong. My supporter only tell what is actually happened to me. Okay, and then the next thing, this is about the public opinion theory. In this case, the persecution issue about the famous humanitarian activist, of course, this is get attention from the audience, I mean the societies. And then the second one, double standard was constructed. I agree with Dr. Lena in the morning. She said, that's a propaganda. There's going to be a double standard. Yeah, double standard constructed by society point of view in social media. Of course, as we know, discourse dealing with constructing things. If you're dealing with a discourse, any kind of discourse, somebody who read it are going to construct by that discourse. The same with this one. the discourse about the persecution towards the humanitarian activists. So it's really constructing. And then the existing opinion leader. There you go. You see here the opinion leader. This is the very important thing in spreading opinion, whether is it going to be true or only a fake news. There's an opinion leader in here. I can say the opinion leader, there are some activists, yeah, there are some minister, and there are, tokoh, celebrities, yeah. And then the fourth one, getting the press attention, of course, because Ratna Sarumpaet is somebody in my country. She's a humanitarian activist since 90 era until right now. Everybody listens to her. Everybody wants to, wants to know, protest by her. She always protests about environment, about, human rights, about the rights, everything. Okay. And I got a picture of it. You can see, this is the woman. This one, you can see the red line over there, solidaritas demokrasi. In English, it's going to be democracy and solidarity. So it make a movement. It make a movement to make a solidarity to this woman. I think it's wow thing for me. And then you can see here, this is one of the candidates of president in my country, number 2. And he said sorry through this man. Yeah. And then he also said sorry. Prabowo minta maaf, ikut suarakan. Prabowo said sorry of supporting Ratna Sarumpaet lies. I think it's a huge thing in hoax. Here you go. This is the press conference. This picture. This is the press conference dealing with Nur Ratih. Nur Ratih is an activist, and she supports her movement. And you can see, after several days, there's a video, there's a picture in the hospital. There you go. This is in the hospital. She's dealing with plastic surgery. Aesthetic thing. And it's really contradictory. Yeah. And here you go. She called by the officer because she's dealing with lie. She's dealing with hoax. And you know what? She also said that I'm the best hoax spreader. She said that. That's her statement. If you see in PR or journalistic point of view, in PR point of view, we can say this is the anticlimax of the activist. In one side, the activist always, vocal about everything about rights, but in the other hand, she's doing lie for her own, for her own beauty, for her own perspective, yeah. So that I put it on the PR perspective. I mean, there's going to be an anticlimax. But for the journalistic perspective, we can see the spreading hoax, the public opinion leader appears to support her statement. I think that's it for me. Thank you for your attention. I really hope we can have a rock discussion here. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to ask Dr. Affandi, what happened next? How our press and weekly media took this case, how they wrote about this activist.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Actually, the media, they report about the apologies of the activists, and the officer take the activists. Yeah, but I think it's unfair for the activists because the hoax spreader didn't caught by the officer. So what happened next? The media only show the fact about the apologies thing, about the press conference, and about the opinion by the leader who deliver the support for the activist, and the activist called by the officer and put in the jail. And I think, as a human, I think this is unfair because previously there's a hoax spread. I mean, there's a influencer in Indonesia. The name is Young Lex. He also showed his blue and black faces, and then he said that I was punched in some places. But actually, after several days, after everybody said their complaints, he said that, oh, you got pranked, that's it. And he didn't get caught by the officer. I think it's unfair. So if you ask what happened or what the media do after this case, they still show their neutral position. They only show how the activists called by the officer, and they take a picture of it, they report it to the society, and it just, after several weeks, it just blasts. It's gone. That's it.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Another question? Okay, let me ask you. Your listener, both of you.
Okay.
It could be face the problem, yeah, when you doing that connection. Could you tell all of us, yeah, what is the lesson learned from your experience?
Okay, my big obstacle when I collect the data is because it was in the election time, and my informant going to come from the number one side and the number two side. The political willing makes the data collection is going to be like, are you answering me with the honest answer, just like that. That's why I'm dealing with triangulation. I'm recheck. I'm doing a member check after I asked about this house spreader to the A1, and then after several days, I asked the same question to her, but with a different way. So that I'm going to check, is it the answer going to honest answer, or just because she wants to interview finish with it. And then what else? Oh, it's really hard to make FGD, sir. Yeah, it's really hard to make FGD because everybody is busy, everybody got their own importance, so it's really hard to collect people to dealing with FGD. Okay.
You mentioned in your abstractive, selecting constructive paradigm,
Yeah.
with interpretive technique.
Interpretive techniques,
Yes.
yeah.
Could you elaborate it?
Yeah, constructive paradigm, as we know, that's one of the paradigms. There's going to be some paradigm, positivistic, and I choose constructivism. And this paradigm, this is the most matched one for this case because we cannot dealing with the questionnaire. We cannot dealing with the numbers. How many people is going to agree? How many people is going to disagree with that? We cannot deal with the numbers. So I choose this constructive paradigm with interpretative because we must interpret we must interpret the answer of the informant, of course, and the result of the FGDs, of course, to elaborate it to our theories. That's it, because we cannot elaborate. I choose this because we cannot deal with the numbers, because I didn't talk about the pengaruh. We didn't talk about relating, from A to B, how is it connected, and then measure it. We didn't measure anything because we want to deal with interpreting things. We would like to elaborate all of the the result of the interviews, the result of the FGDs, the result of triangulation to deal with our theories that we choose.
Okay, thank you. Okay.